everyone, this is Alysia, also known as AVP 60685. Hope you guys are doing good. I know today is only Monday, August the 27th, 2018. Hope you guys had a good weekend. My weekend was pretty nice. Friday I went to a party, got to try a strawberry daiquiri that had no alcohol in it. I got to do some dancing. I got to enjoy some good food. I got to enjoy some good company. On Saturday, I got to visit with the church grandmother who I haven't seen in quite some time. And so that was really nice. Yesterday, I actually just stayed home and played my Nancy Drew game, which I uploaded early this morning. So that is part 6. Finally got the gargoyle puzzle done. That's really good. Yes, I know today's only Monday, but thought I would do this vlog topic while it's still early and fresh in my mind. So my friend Sean was asking me, what am I going to do on my topic? And I was debating between a couple of topics. And finally this one, I was going to do last week. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it last week. So this week I'm going to talk about something that's scary that happened in my childhood. So I'm going to say this, that this is not clickbait at all. But basically, when I was about 8 to 10 years of age, I want to say 8, maybe 9, there was an incident that happened in my childhood where it was a bomb threat. No, I'm not clickbaiting you guys, really. Let me backtrack a little bit. In my neighborhood that I grew up in when I was growing up, there was houses. There was 3 houses. My house was the 3rd house once you came straight down the street. And then there was houses across the street. And then further down there was other houses, and then if you went into my backyard there was houses around that way. So basically it made a circle of sorts. So basically my backyard went, there was another neighbor's house there, on the other side there was another house, another house, another house, another house. So my house, if you went basically out the front door, not the side door because we had several doors, but if you went out the front door, there was a house, house, house. So, that 3rd house, not my house, but the 3rd house, basically if you went into, like I said, if you went out the front door and you went through the front yard and you turned to the, you had to turn to the, it's kind of to the right, but it's also on the left. So, it's kind of weird. It's kind of hard to explain, but basically you have to turn. So basically that 3rd house, the neighborhood is typically quiet and everything. We've got elderly people who live down the street. We've got families that live up the street. We've got neighbors who have older teenagers, things like that, who live, basically if you will go from my backyard, not the house in my backyard, but the opposite house, there's a house there. And then there's also other people that live there that basically they're workaholics. This 3rd house that I was telling you guys about, unfortunately the owner there was a drug addict, a really bad drug addict. And he has all sorts of addictions, all sorts of problems. Most of the time us kids were saying, leave him alone, don't mess with him, leave him alone. No problem. Us kids can do that. No, that's no big deal. We know, leave these kind of people alone. So, it's summertime, kind of like it is now, and it's super, super hot out. Hardly anybody's home. It's just me and my mom. My dad is at work. But we hear this knock at the door. And it's a police officer. He explains to my mom that basically she needs to, can she drive, first of all? And she says, no, I don't drive, and I have my daughter here. He says, ma'am, you and your daughter need to get some things and get out of here as quickly as possible. My mom's trying to call my dad to let him know something's going on, we need to leave, but she can't get a hold of him at work. So she calls some church members that we're going to church with and says, look, I don't know what's going on. A police officer just came to my door. Can you come pick me and Alysia up? A couple of them say no, they can't, but a couple of them say yes, we can come pick you up, but that won't be for at least another hour. So my mom and I pack up some things, and I have something like, it's sort of like a sleeping bag, but it's basically it's basically a baby sleeping bag. That's the only way I can put it in layman's terms, but basically, say this is the sleeping bag of sorts, and there's a pouch on the outside that you put your baby in and they sleep. Well, I called it a sleeping bag, so basically I opened it up, put some toys in there, put some clothes in there, not a whole lot because I don't know what's going on myself. Eventually my mom and I go out the door to find out what's going on. Why are they evacuating the whole neighborhood? Now here's the thing about the neighborhood that I grew up in. When something was going on that was major, police, fire department, whatever, the whole neighborhood goes to check it out. My mom and I go to check it out to find out what's going on. And we know there's a whole bunch of police activity at that one house. And my mom finally finds out from overhearing that there's a bomb. There's several bombs in this house. And we've got to get out of this neighborhood quickly. Or else, no more us, no more house, no more nothing. So my mom and I go, instead of going down the street, we go up the street because there's a water tower on the top of the hill. And so basically we know we can't stay in the neighborhood much longer because they tell us, you know, you got to get out of here, you got to get out of here. So my mom and I go up the street, and we're like, because we didn't have cell phones back then too, you gotta remember we didn't have cell phones, so we couldn't just text somebody and say, hey, we're at so and so's place. No. We go to this one house which is on the left side. This woman has dogs that are constantly barking. Every time we go by that house, bark, 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 bark. Anyway, my mom explains to her that they're evacuating our part of the street and we've got to get out of there. And we're expecting a ride, but we can't stay on our street. Could we stay with her until our ride comes? Sure, no problem, the lady says. You guys can stay with us as long as you need. And she moves her dogs out of the way so my mom can wait by the door. And the woman comments, you're really, really behaved, little sweetheart. She's talking to me. I'm paraphrasing because I'm trying to remember what she said. But basically she was saying I was really well behaved. And she was really impressed with my behavior. So basically, she sees that I don't have that many toys in there. And she goes like, is that all you're going to take with you, sweetheart? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. And she has this huge teddy bear, which is half the size I am. And she says, here, you can take this, sweetheart. I don't need it and everything. I said, well, thank you very much. And eventually our ride comes and picks us up. And we spend the rest of the day at their house. My mom eventually gets a hold of my dad and calls him from our friend's house, the church members, and tells them that we're in so-and-so's house, and we'll explain more details when he comes to pick us up. And we hear on the news that basically about this bomb threat and how the neighborhood's all clear, everything's A-okay, they got rid of the bomb and everything. And my mom explains to my dad when he comes to pick us up what happened. That this neighbor who was the drug dealer had literally set up bombs in his home and was going to literally blow up everything. So it was kind of a scary ordeal, and to this day I get a little bit flip-flops in my stomach when I hear about bombs and bomb threats, because it makes me think of my childhood, of this incident that happened where we had to evacuate my neighborhood, and we had a drug dealer who literally set up bombs. Now the thing is, that neighborhood is no longer the same. That neighbor got arrested because of what he had done and because of his drugs and everything. And people basically remember that house because of what happened. But they remember, oh, that's where the bomb was. So that's an incident that happened in my life. Like I said, this is not clickbait. This actually happened to me. And so yeah, there's a little bit more into my life that you guys didn't know, that I survived an almost bombing in my neighborhood where I grew up as a child because of a crazy drug dealer madman who eventually got arrested. I was eventually able to resume my normal life without too much difficulty until other things happened in my life. So, thank you all for listening. I will see you guys in my next video. Take care now and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.